Okay guys, no matter when you're watching this, it's always a good time to really start focusing your plan for the next year. And I'm filming this at the end of the year, so I'm already in that place where I've got the mindset of let's get on to 2021. If you're like me and you're ready to be over with 2020 and start planning some big things for 2021, this is the video for you, so let's go. Today's video is sponsored by the Batching Bootcamp. 10x your content creation in far less time. This is a 4-part training series to help you plan, prep, and execute the perfect content batching day. You're going to learn the exact batching method that I use to create months worth of content in just one day. So sign up with the link below and start saving time with your content creation. Hey guys, I'm Gwendolyn. I'm the content creator's best friend. I'm here to simplify content for you so that you can get back to what's most important in your business and brand. This is Simplified Content. Thank you for finding me and showing up and watching. Here, I just simplify content creation for you, content marketing, and of course, content repurposing. So if that sounds like something that you want to learn more about, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell so that you can see when I have something new for you. And of course, I have all the socials just like you. So Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. I have a great Facebook group just for you guys to learn more from me in a more intimate setting. So if that sounds like something you want to do, go ahead and find all my links below and give me a hey in the comments and let's get going. Okay, so planning for the next year in your business. Whenever you're watching this, I recommend you start planning your next year in the 4th quarter of your year. So anywhere between October and December, you should really be planning out what kind of goals you want to be accomplishing in the next year. And why is this important for your content? Because if you are not planning ahead for the goals you want to have, the big, hairy, scary goals that are out there in your business, or the revenue goals or the authority goals that you have, if you're really not planning ahead, then you're just creating content to create content. There's no purpose behind it, and it's not going to help your business or brand. And your content is going to fall flat because there's no purpose, there's no direction for it. So as much as we want to create content that is valuable to our audience, we also want to create content that is valuable to our business. So if you're watching this and it is not the 4th quarter of the year, make sure that you are putting it on your calendar somewhere, set a reminder on your Google Calendar or whatever, and remind yourself between October and November would be better, not December. Remind yourself to be really planning ahead and coming to terms with what happened in the past year so that you can plan better for next year. So how are we going to do that? First, I want you to really think about what did you do well this year? Think about accomplishments only. And maybe for you, that's a vanity metric, which of course is a great achievement and I applaud you. But I want it to be bigger than that. Did you create a product or a new service that you didn't have last year? Did you create an opt-in that you didn't have last year? Did you get interviewed on a podcast you were really excited about? What were the big accomplishments that you had this past year so we can have a better mindset going into planning for the next year? We want to come in with this gratitude and this appreciation for the awesome year we just had. Now, if you're watching this and it's 2020, I know that we all had a rough year, but for me, I actually had some amazing accomplishments inside my business, even though personally it was a rough year because my kids were not in school, but for 1 month. They were in school in January of 2020, and that was it. So of course, I had a lot of things that I had planned for 2020, and it had to be rearranged, and I'm still really proud of the progress that I made, and I know you can find something for that list too. Okay, so now that you've done that, I want you to start thinking of what your revenue goal is. And I don't care how big, hairy, scary this is, we've got to shoot for something. And it has to be more than you made this year. It can't be just the same amount, right? There's no point in having a business if you're just going to plateau at, a minimum wage. So you did this for a reason. You started your business for a reason. Maybe it was to be home with your kids more. Maybe it was to show everyone that you could. Maybe it was because you had bigger dreams for yourself than you could find at any company working for someone else. That was mine. So if you have these big dreams, then there needs to be a big number attached to that. So what is that big number? And whether you reach it or not is not the point. I want you to have that goal in mind, because you've got to have content that's going to really reach that point. And that may be leveling up a couple of pieces of content. And if that number is really hairy and scary, that's good. If it feels a little uncomfortable, that's great. So let's keep that out there. And then we're going to be able to loop back around and say, okay, I need to start leveling up this part of my content, right? Lastly, I want you to put out there the big things that you want to have accomplished in the next year. So 12 months is a long time, guys. It's a long time to be able to get to do things. Maybe that's speaking at a conference or being interviewed by a certain magazine or television, or maybe it's creating a new course that has been sitting in the back of your mind forever and you feel like you've never had time. What is that thing? Maybe it's developing a software or writing a book. I'm getting really excited about all these things. Whatever that big goal is for the next year that you would love to see, and just imagine yourself at the end, this time next year, imagine yourself with that thing under your belt, that thing accomplished. And if that feels really good and exciting, then I want you to write it down. And I want to have at least one thing per quarter that's going to be revenue generating. So if you already have a product or a book or something that you are selling that is passive, it needs to be sold at least once a quarter in a launch setting. Maybe for the fourth quarter, it's more of a Black Friday sale with a bundle or something like that. So make sure that there's some way that you are selling your passive products. If you are a service provider, then having something that you can give away and sell passively. It could be a template, it could be writing quotes, or whatever type of service provider you are. You can think of something that you can sell passively. So every quarter, have one passive income sale, revenue generating launch. Okay, so we've talked about the good things that happened throughout the past year. And again, just the good things for right now, which brought us into a grateful mindset for thinking about that revenue goal and saying, if I accomplish those things, then I can probably accomplish this revenue goal. I'm really excited about it. You wrote it down. Awesome. Good for you. Now we are on to the big things that you want to do. One thing a quarter that is going to be passive income for you. And then you're going to be writing down the other things that you can be creating that are revenue generating. And maybe it's just this pie in the sky thing that you don't even know where to start with. Write it down, because it's going to be part of your plan. Next, I want you to write down the collaborations you want to have, people you want to reach out to, the big influencers you want to be noticed by. Write those people down. Write the hashtags down that you would like to start ranking in on all platforms, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. If they're not hashtags, they're keywords. So plan accordingly per platform. Whatever the keywords or hashtags or search engine optimization, whatever it is that's going to help you be found, what do you want to be ranking for? What do you want to be found for? What is the main topic that you want to be the main person for? Okay, so now you've got that all together. It's time to start planning your content and really planning those around those business goals. So now that you have those business goals, they're out there, they're on a piece of paper, they're real, okay? This is the real beginning to those things. And I want you to feel that inside of you, the excitement, and maybe it's a little scary, but don't be scared, because I promise you you're going in a great direction. And because it's all on paper, now you can plan out your content. And at the bottom of every single video on my channel, I have the annual plan where I go into detail about how to plan out a year's worth of content around these goals, how to really go into depth with these goals and how to do it properly, so that you can have your entire content plan planned out in advance. And you might be saying, that's too far in advance, my audience will never like that, or that's too far in advance after this year, how could we ever plan that far in advance? And to that I say, You can, and every business can, because every single business has a core message and a core value that they're trying to bring to the world in some way. And that's not going to change no matter what is happening around you. So if you can plan out the core types of content for the year around your launches, make sure your launches are supported by your content around your big scary goals, around those revenue goals, you can start really seeing how content is going to support every part of your business that you want to see. And of course, if something crazy happens with the world like it happened in 2020, you can still address those things with your content. Just because you planned it that far in advance does not mean that you can't sprinkle in the stuff that needs to be there to make you look like you are still in the world today, right? So those are my tips for planning out your business goals and having your content really support your business goals for the next year. No matter when you are watching this, I hope that you have the most wonderful year, the best year in your business yet. And I want to hear from you. Let me know in the comments below, what's one thing you want to have accomplished by the end of next year? Don't forget to grab all the resources I have for you down below. And of course, the links to all my other social platforms are there. Thanks so much for stopping by. Keep creating, and I will see you next week.